important and the rest of the country paying attention?
Well, I mean, when teams are both good, that's usually what happens. I mean, I think we talk about teams typically that are good, and every year this is one of those that seems like for game day that we're discussing to come. So I think that kind of tells you how much it means.
When you look at both these teams, I know you can't, well, I guess you can predict. You're not doing the game, but just tell us some keys you think will be for the game tomorrow.
Well, I don't know. I can't give you a key to stopping Baker Mayfield because I haven't seen it. And the offense it's built around it. It's built around him so well, and they do so many good things, and there's so much motion and then play action, and he does a great job scrambling and buying time, and they got weapons, and offensive line is enormous, just big, huge, physical guys. So I wish I could give you a key to stopping the defense. I don't know what that is. I mean, Ohio State's got a dirty defensive line. I mean, they're so good, and they still had a lot of success against them. So I think outscore them is what you got to do when you play Oklahoma. The good news is for Oklahoma State is Oklahoma's defense really hadn't stopped anybody, and so I think it's a Big 12 shootout. It's going to be a lot of fun. Both quarterbacks are going to have to play great. Their running games can be stopped at times for both of them, and who's going to make enough plays in the passing game and those big plays that decide the game, and without turning the ball over. Because a game like this, you turn the ball over once, and you might be down 14. You know, so it'll be fun to watch, and I think there'll be plenty of fireworks.
Can you talk a little bit about just welcome back to Oklahoma?
Thank you.
Can you talk a little
Is
bit
the weather always this cold, or is it just us?
Why it keeps happening?
Lord have mercy. A couple years ago, it was like, oh my gosh.
There was ice storm in 2013.
Yes.
You guys came here crazy. Can you talk a little bit about maybe the difference in the team then versus now?
I think Oklahoma State can run the football consistently. I can't remember that many years ago, but to be honest, the last couple years I know the run game has taken a step back. Offensive line is not a powerful unit. It's not a unit that's going to knock you off the ball. The offense, to me, when you watch it, it resembles more Baylor-like principles than it used to with splits, and so it has evolved. The offense has evolved. When you watch them on tape and you see them, it's a little bit different than you're accustomed to seeing in the past, but just as effective. Mason Rudolph has been here for 22 years, and he was probably here the last time we were here, I'm sure. I mean, he's still out there making plays, and you can tell he has a good command of the offense. He understands where he's supposed to go with the football, and my God, I mean, bombs away. You know, I mean, it's if I'm playing defense against you guys, it's what Texas did. It's back up and make you earn it in the run game, and I think King doing what he did a week ago was fun to see if you're an Oklahoma State fan. I mean, he ran hard, broke tackles, smashed folks. I was like, he's 27. He looks pretty good, and so I think that's going to be a big deciding factor too. Is you got to find ways to run the football, especially against Oklahoma's defense that hadn't been stellar this far this season.
Given all his antics and personality and everything, is Mike Gundy a guy you want to play for?
Oh yeah, I mean, minus the mullet, of course. I mean, I'd make him cut the mullet, but no, he's got good personality. Anytime you ever spend time with him, you can tell he's a guy that he just kind of gets it. I bet he gets players really well, and I bet they love him and enjoy him, and he's definitely one of those coaches. I mean, when you think about, it's interesting. And I was thinking about this yesterday. When I think about Oklahoma State, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Gundy. I mean, that's he's kind of been here a while and laid a foundation, and you think about players that have come through, but it's really it's always him you think about the most. So he's been here for a while and had a lot of success, and I know there's a lot of places that have wanted him. So he's stuck around and been faithful to here for sure.
I know the cold obviously jumped out from 2 years ago. Anything else about your game day trips here that is memorable?
Guns seem to fire. That's always memorable. I mean, I about fell out of my chair a couple years ago when Coach shot those guns. The cold was definitely something. Always coming in from Tulsa or from Oklahoma City is always an interesting drive. The campus is beautiful. It's kind of just all of a sudden you're driving in and then just bam, here's a huge nice campus. Stadium facilities are awesome, so there's a lot of things to stick out.
Were you here for the earthquake game that Herb Street was doing a live shot? And
that was awesome.
Were you here for that?
I wasn't here, but I was on TV with Kirk at the time watching his eyeballs go. Because here's the thing, we don't know it. Like when we're on camera, we don't know what the heck's going on. You don't even know the crowd or anything. So Kirk didn't know it, and they said it in his ear. They're like, "Stay calm. There's been an earthquake." Like, why did you do that? No, like, bro, wait till I'm off TV. Don't tell me now. So yeah, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the game day signs that followed. Was just Kirk's eyeballs yay big. That was funny. So yeah, I definitely remember that.
What do you think the national perception is of Coach Gundy and Oklahoma State football? And really, I guess, over the last 10 years, how they became a elite program here?
That's a tough question because we don't have a national picture. We go to everywhere and we understand what he's done, and so I don't know what the national picture is. I know that people that know football has been impressed with what they've been able to do, and especially offensively. I mean, just they find a way to always score points, and it doesn't seem to matter if it's who's playing quarterback, and it's just the next receiver, by the way, that you've never heard of that just is going to step up with James Washington or Des Bryant or whoever it is. I mean, it's not a secret that find players that people don't talk about as much, and the offense is always built around it and makes them play great, and they put up a ton of points, and if they can just find more defensive players, I think consistently, it's a team that would be a national championship contender every year or a playoff contender for sure.
Can you bounce off of that and talk about, OSU, they got 3 guys up for the Bolitnikoff, and just talk about the weapons that, that OU defense here lately has kind of been struggling, just how they can
Not kind of, they've been bad. I'm a defensive guy, so it hurts my eyeballs when I see some of the defensive stuff that goes on, but it's not just that. I think it's the weapons, it's the wide receivers, obviously, but then you can also run the football, and when Five's in there, I really think that the offense is pretty special when he can make people miss and he can catch it out of the backfield and run. So I think that the offense it's going to need balance, but having those playmakers on the outside, it just dictates everything you do defensively. And then the way y'all spread everybody out, and then y'all hit bombs. I mean, like when you watch the TCU tape, TCU's like, nah, you can have the underneath stuff. We're just making sure you don't throw bombs over our heads. So it's just. It's a defensive coordinator's nightmare to have to face that many weapons, that kind of system, and a quarterback with experience. It's not fun.
All right, guys, 2 more questions.
Do you think the X factor for OSU's defense is that line getting pressure on Mayfield?
The whole defense is the X factor. It ain't a line. I mean, somebody's going to have to step up and make plays, and somebody's going to have to create a turnover or make get an interception or cause a fumble or. I think obviously it starts with the line, but the thing is, Oklahoma exposes linebackers more than anybody because of all the motions and shifts, and then they do run some RPOs, but Flowers is basically a fullback that he'll block and then slip out right behind him, behind those little pop passes right behind him. So you just got to be disciplined, you got to be sound, and they got to find ways to create takeaways and harass Mayfield. But the problem is, you harass him, he finds a way out of it. I mean, the kid's special, man. I mean, I know y'all don't like him, and y'all shouldn't. I mean, Oklahoma State people don't like Oklahoma people, and Oklahoma people don't like Oklahoma State people. But he is, when I watch him on tape and I study him, he's a lot of fun to watch. Just creativity. He's frenetic in the pocket, and he's unconventional, but at the same time, he plays out of his mind, outrageous, and then plays great. But it finds a way to slow it down enough to make plays. And so I think the whole defense is going to have to make plays, step up, create some turnovers, and hopefully you score back-to-back times, and now you're up 14, and you make them play a little bit differently.
All right, last question, guys.
Coach Gundy's got this winning culture that he's built here, but probably one of the most interesting college coaches in terms of like the mullet and shirtless duel with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, that was not.
Like, how do you balance that?
Favorite.
How do you balance that as a coach?
The shirtless or the mullet? Which
I mean,
one? Where do you want to start with this? Because this is all bad.
And also establishing.
How about the turtle hunting and
the rattlesnake?
Yeah, whatever.
Hopefully, something.
Here's the thing I'll say about it, and this is coming from a player perspective. When your coach does something like that, you have no clue how much that means to players. And I say that it's one thing to stand up there all the time and be, do this, do that, but we also want you to be a human being, and we want you to have fun and be willing to cut loose and let it rip. And it makes you care about them that much more. It humanizes the coach as opposed to being a dictatorship and always being told what to do. So I think it's a good thing that he does. And there's a lot of those examples. And I'm a man, I'm 40. That was 10 years ago because he's 50 now. But the shirtless thing and the mullet and just that kind of stuff, I think goes a long way for players just to be like, oh yeah, he's one of my dudes. He's one of us. He's not just the guy getting paid, the big bucks and telling us what to do all the time.
All right, guys. Thanks.